right, Tina. So this is completely feedback only. Certainly take or leave these changes, but kind of looking to the priority standard and what we expect kids to be able to do by the time they leave second grade. It looks like that we have the learning target is I can explain with evidence how to access both print and digital resources and list a pro and con of each. So what would I do to find a book in the library? What are some digital resources that I have and how would I get to them? And then be able to talk about one good thing about books and one con, and then so on and so forth. So knowing that that's kind of the target right here, and then the advanced is 2 of each. Looking through the curriculum guide with that lens, I wondered about a couple of things. So here's kind of my notes, just to kind of ignore my scribble. The other piece that I looked up is second grade's informational writing unit doesn't actually start until March 3rd. So I wondered about doing some things closer to their unit, those research pieces, and moving the digital citizen pieces up. So they didn't practice it so early in the year, and then it was March till they saw it again. So kind of quick, here are my notes of keeping lesson 1. And again, I know that there's a bunch of scratch, but again, take it or leave it. You know your curriculum best, so I will not be offended if you decide this is not what's best. So again, keep lesson 1 of Introduction to the Library. And then I wondered about taking one of the boot camp lessons and moving it to week or rotation 2. So you could teach them how to log into a school laptop, what's the login, what's the password, and in addition, adding that safe, respectful, responsible piece, how do you take care of computers in the building, so on and so forth. Again, just a suggestion. And then I wonder about keeping week 3 a flex week. My experience, I always taught second graders how to log in, and it usually takes more than 1 week for them to practice and be proficient, so maybe people could use that as needed. So that flex week would be there. And then keeping the digital citizen lessons together. So, I think I might have messed something up. So then week 4 would be the digital citizen lesson, Power of Words. I wonder if and then flex week would be 5 again, just because that's where the book fair is going to fall. So those would be 2 very close flex weeks. So that could be kind of up to you of what you were thinking about that. And then the other digital lesson piece that you had was that positive digital identity. So to keep those 2 lessons together, so that would move to week 6. And then right before break, kids should have at least been introduced to the research project process in kindergarten, first grade. We know that they probably don't know it. So maybe reviewing that piece and going over those steps again. And then this was the focus for kindergarten and first grade. So again, maybe a review right before break would be a good thing. And then we can move into the new stuff, kind of keeping it second semester with that heavy focus on research. You can certainly, if you don't feel like this really fits, if there's something else that would go better there, feel free to change it. And then keeping that week 9 as your flex week. And then once kids get back from break, so 10, once they came, you would start, like, how do we find books in the library? So you could either save kind of their plan for their research, because they should kind of have a plan here and what they want to research. So you go through finding books. I don't know if you'll need another lesson for that. You didn't really have it built in, but if you think you can conquer it in one time together, that's fine. Again, kind of going back up, they need to be able to explain how to get books in the library. So what would they do, and what's a good thing about finding a book for research, and what's a bad thing. So then once they do the library searching, then I wondered about doing the online. So sometimes we want to find books in the library. How would I do that? Sometimes we want to find digital resources. So how would I do that? And what are some things that we have? And having them practice some of those things. Again, I wondered about a review of logging in or having another flex time might be helpful there. I know we're getting kind of tight with flex time, but you do what you think is best. And then once you've covered finding a book in the library and using the digital, that's where you could do the pro versus con and make sure that they are able to articulate what are some great things about using books and what are some great things about using online resources and when may it not be the best choice. And then that comes to week 13 of just that practicing, taking notes. And then week 14 and 15 would be citing sources. You know your kids best. I didn't know if you would need 2 lessons for that, or if maybe you could steal time from there to practice and give them some time to actually get some notes down, or to spend a little bit more time on these 2. Again, completely up to you. These are just my thoughts looking through it. And then that 16 sharing piece would go all the way at kind of the end of the year, because again, if you remember, their actual information unit is March to about May. And I don't actually think they get to research until a little bit later. And then completely up to you. If you want to move this to be a flex week, I think that's fine. Or if you want to get all the second graders kind of introduced to their Office 365 so they've at least seen it before they go to third grade, that might also be a good idea. Again, these are just ideas and thoughts. You know best. It's your curriculum, so if you feel like you want to keep it and live with it, that's completely fine. But I just thought I would take a moment to send you some feedback. Hope you're having a great day, Tina.